Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan, and for this week's vlog I sat down with Orkidea to talk with him about his 1999 trance classic Unity and more. Enjoy! Orkidea has been one of Scandinavia's leading DJs since the early 90s. He is best known for his unique blend of trance and progressive. He is responsible for classics such as Unity, Year Zero and Nana. Furthermore, he did remixes for artists and acts such as Way Out West, Tiesto, Solarstone, Paul Oakenfold and many others. Lately, Orkidea has been one of the key creative forces in Solarstone's Pure Trance movement, and he had the pleasure of mixing the very first Pure Trance compilation as well. And besides that, Orkidea is also a member of the VII DJ collective. This year it is exactly 20 years ago since Orkidea's trance classic Unity came out. So a good reason to sit down with him and to ask him about the story behind this track and more. My first question to him was what he did remember from the production process of Unity.
The whole idea for Unity was to make an anthem for our club Unity, which me and my friends were running, and I had been trying out producing with two friends of mine, Nico and Niklas, both from Slusnik Luna. And then I had a session booked with Niklas, who was working in a top studio, very good studio at the time. And I wanted to have some sort of vocal sample because I was already fond of like ethnic vocals. And then I went looking for it. Actually at the time I went to record shops and then looked for like ethnic and departments and so on, and then bump into the Dead Can Dance sample, which I thought was very strong one. And we went to studio and worked with Niklas on that. And I think in a day the foundation of the track already came together, because I remember leaving the studio and going to my friend's cafe who he was running, and I played it like, hey, listen what we created. So we had something already there. But then it took many iterations that actually the final version was done. And then I sent it to some labels, if I can talk about the release process as well. I sent it to some labels via CDR, like via mail, and then I was waiting for someone to come back via something. And then Steelfish Records came back saying, hey, we want to release this. But then they tried to clear the sample, and it turned out to be a difficult one to do. And they came back saying, oh, we can't clear the sample. And then they tried to do it as a remix. Back then there were DMC Mix Club remix collections, where there were like unique remixes made of tracks which were not otherwise commercially available. We tried to do it that way as well, couldn't do it. And then the end result was, okay, we can't release it. But then came New Year's Eve, on the eve of '99, and DJ Sasha from UK started his set on BBC Radio 1 Essential Mix from Alexander Palace on the New Year's Eve, and he started with Unity, and then emails and calls and faxes started flooding into Steelfish, like, what is this track, and when we want to play it. And then the guy who was running Steelfish Records back then, he said, oh, well, what the hell, we'll just release it and see what happens. And the rest is history, I guess.
So it got released, but the sample wasn't cleared.
Well, I leave that to the for you to figure out.
Okay. So were you inspired by any other tracks or artists when you made Unity?
I think almost all of because I've been DJ. Well, I did play in bands and so on, but I'm a DJ, and then I started producing. So I think all of my tracks and productions, to me, I can kind of track almost every single element in them into a track that I've been playing. It's like a mix and mashup of everything that goes through me as a DJ. So back then it included elements or influences of a lot of different things. Like there were some UK progressive house things which had those gated vocals that I was applying to the sample, and then there were some elements of early Goa trance and psychedelic trance, like the acidic elements in the middle of it. Then there was Who Junes and Red Cherry and Solarstone and a lot of the UK guys who had that sort of rolling bass line rhythm in there. And then, you know, my roots go back to early 90s, and there's the one flute sample, classic actually. It's from EMU sampler, like Sakuhachi, I think is the name of that patch, which I wanted to have in there. So it was like an influence of a lot of things.
You just said like Sasha played the track, but do you remember playing Unity for a crowd yourself for the very first time?
I'm pretty sure the first ever play of Unity happened in Unity Club as the last track of the night. We had been running that just for 1 or 2 years at that point, so it was very early stages. No, sorry. Yeah, I think 2 years at that point.
Okay.
So it was very early stages for Unity, which we end up doing clubs and events for 20 years after that. But I think it was at this small club called Nylon in Finland for maybe 300 people.
Yeah, so you just said like Unity got a lot of support from big names. Besides Sasha, also Paul Oakenfold, Nick Warren, Tong, Dave Seaman, they all played it. It must have been great feeling that all these names were supporting like this track, right?
Yeah, to me it was kind of hard to even understand at the time what was happening. Also because the internet culture was totally different. You were not like so in sync and and so aware of everything that was happening. So it came through much slower, the information that someone said, hey, Pete Tong played it in Essential Selection, and then you had to go and try to find a recording of that set somewhere, and oh, he really did play it. And Oakenfold started then in May. Sasha played on New Year's Eve, and then Oakenfold started his Essential mix from, I think, some big UK festival that summer. And my friend brought a mini disc recording of that, and you had all the crowd noise. It was like, oh wow! And then DMC was releasing this weekly update magazine with DJs charts and also like this like overall chart, and you started to see Unity there played by these big names. And then two very important things that happened. One was that Gatecrasher Red compilation, which was one of the big uplifting trance compilations at that time. So Scott Bond licensed Unity on that, so that was a big thing for the track. And then also Dave Seaman wanted to use it and used it on his Renaissance America mix CD, which was really big thing for me, because Renaissance compilations were like they were big source of inspiration for me and Sasha and Dick with overall. So it was a huge honor for me.
Yeah, I can tell. I think it's safe to say that this was like one of the first, or maybe the first trance track in your home country, Finland.
Well, to me, Slušnik Luna guys were, to me they were the first Finnish trance act and producer. So Nico and Niklas had been producing commercial big, like, more like a Eurodance things and pop and all sort of stuff. But they had this Slušnik Luna, their own project. And a friend of mine, actually my school friend was good friend of theirs, and he tipped like, check these guys out, and they were playing live sets as well. And I did check them out, and I think first time I heard in 95 or 96 their music. And they were playing live sets, and I was playing some of their music in my sets already, but none of it was commercially released. But I think to me they were like the first Finnish trance act. And then they continued, you know, they released Sun in 2000 and quite a few remixes and had like a good 5-year run of very good releases and remixes.
Okay. So was music still a hobby for you then, or did you have like a weekly job as well, like during the week?
To me, I kind of have two careers right from the beginning. So there's been this DJ and artist career, which is essentially like me, like my own creativity, creating something, and that's kind of around trance and progressive. And then right from quite early stage, I started to do sound design, first to theater and computer games and short movies and that sort of stuff, and then I went to study that, and then later on I started to work on sound for advertising and big brands. I've been working at Nokia and Microsoft, and now I work at the Finnish National Broadcasting Company. So I've had these two things, which sometimes it's a challenge that I don't have as much time to production as some of my colleagues. Then on the other hand, financially I'm not dependent on the DJ and production career, so I believe that it gives me some sort of creative freedom that I can do whatever I want. I don't need to worry about, I don't need to take every remix offer, and I don't need to worry about how much the sales are or how big of a DJ fee I can get, so I can be very, very little think about the financial aspect of the whole DJ career.
So is it easy for you to combine your daily work with your DJ/producer career?
Well, sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's harder. So, but I've been lucky that the places where I work, they've been very supportive and adaptive, and I think it benefits both sides that I do all these things.
You're also part of the VII crew. For the people that don't know what the VII crew is, can you explain a bit more to us about this?
Yeah, so VII is a DJ and producer collective, label, events, group of actually there's some combining element. Probably it would be the word trance, but then still Alex Di Stefano or John Askew or Simon Patterson or myself, we have very different element or way of looking at it. But yeah, it's a collective of 7 DJs and artists.
Okay, cool. So there's going to be a big VII event in Amsterdam later this year, where you're part of. You must be excited for that one, I guess.
Yeah, I'm when I got the call actually just prior the previous ADE from John Askew, I was really honored and happy to be asked to be part of it, because I have huge respect for all of those guys, both as a DJ and producer. I think all of them have very long career and very clear unique point of view in their music, and I think sort of this artistic integrity is very high in them. So to be part of that is super exciting, and I think my role, how we right from the beginning knew that I am the opener DJ for their events, because previously all of them were playing very hard, so it was hard to decide okay who's gonna open, because musically it was not anyone's typical sound, the opening sound. So my progressive is like the ideal build up for the night.
So another event in Amsterdam that's coming up later this year is a Pure Trance boat party at the Amsterdam Dance event. What can people expect there?
Yeah, the AD boat party, I think it started from the obviously ADE is always very important event for the whole scene, and I think a lot of producers and labels and event brands kind of set the stage for the future as well, and that's where the Pure Trance VII, the CD was launched, and the whole thing was launched I think 7 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
So this is like setting the stage for the future as well, and I guess this started from the idea that long sets are extended sets. You don't always get to play those, so Rich wanted to showcase extended sets, and also this idea of there's a lot of classic DJ duos who play a little bit differently, but support each other, the Sashas and Dickwits and so on. So we wanted to do something similar. So it's extended sets from myself and Rich, both party, AD, the global trance family. So I think it should be a really special one.
Cool. So how did you and Solarstone actually meet each other?
Oh,
Because you guys go way back.
yeah, it's a good question. I think Solarstone and me, I was playing his music, or at the time it was, I think, originally like a trio and then duo and then Rich in a solo. So I was playing their music from, I think 97 is probably that I'm sure that at that time there were some Who Tunes remixes and tracks that I was playing, maybe something even earlier. And I think we met first time at an event organized by Scott Bond from Gatecrasher in Ibiza or UK. I think that was when we first met live, and then quite soon after that we booked, I'm not sure if it was us or someone else, but Rich was booked to Finland and we played there together. And also that's how actually the slow motion series that we've been producing together started. That Rich was booked to Finland and we thought, okay, well he's here or in Finland, so let's book a studio session at the same time and do some music, and that's how the slow motion series started.
I think he's a big fan of your sound. I mean, yeah, as you just said, you guys did a few collabs, and he did remix Unity as well. Are there plans for a re-release for the 20th anniversary of Unity?
Not at the moment. I did my own version, like when the track celebrated its 15th anniversary around that time, and then Rich's remix was just, I don't know. It was a very hard decision for me to even touch the track, because it's very difficult to kind of try to start to work on tracks which have some sort of classic status. But I think Richie's pure interpretation was just perfect remix for that. And it's actually also, funnily enough, it's the very first instance where the pure term introduced. So Rich made his remix of Unity and wanted to call it a Pure Trance remix because he felt that kind of it was his exactly his vision of what the trance at its purest is. So that happened maybe a year before the Pure Trance CD and event series started. So it had an element to play with the whole Pure Trance movement starting.
So something else, they just announced that you're gonna mix the new In Search of Sunrise. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that I'm a huge fan of the original series. So it was right from the volume 1, and it was always like annually big thing for me to see, okay, what the track list is gonna be like. The sound was also evolving. First it was more uplifting, then it was more progressive. Always had that summery feel in it. So when I was asked to do it, I was really happy, still kind of getting my head around it. But to me it needs to have that summer outdoor slightly Balearic feeling of it. So I hope that I can offer my own approach to that.
So what else can we expect from you in the near future?
Well, there's remixes and singles. So singles coming on both Pure Trance and VII, and then also I do my own pure progressive remixes, which come out by my own SoundCloud. So there's nice ones coming from at least, well, I won't say any names, but anyways, some nice ones. Also, we have been working on the classical translations project. We've done 2 concerts in Finland in 2016 and 2018, where we have taken trance classics and electronic music classics and done full orchestral symphonic recreations of those, which have been very successful, and people from around the world have been contacting us, and we've been talking with hopefully doing classical translations outside of Finland as well at some point. But let's see.
Okay, well, thank you very much for everything and good luck.
Thank you.
Alright, that was it, this week's vlog, my interview with Orkidea. Tapio, thank you very much for your time, much appreciated. And thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye!